What is going on? You are watching and listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition. That's right, it's episode 458. I am your host, Stevie, alongside Kodi Maurice Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. I'm looking at you in the beautiful sun, and you look so fabulous.
Well, I am actually in Puerto Vallarta, and we don't want to talk about too many things, but this is related to a recent topic that we were talking about gayest cities and places to travel. I am here now for about 2 weeks, helping my sister with her brand new condo that we're in right now, and it's amazing. So much work, though. A lot of people think that I'm lying out in the pool all day long, and today was setting up Wi-Fi. I won't bore you with all the details, but lots going on. If you're here in Puerto Vallarta, though, reach out to me at TAGSPodcast. Would love to see you. Going to meet some friends out that I met on the Vacaya cruise line a little bit later tonight, so I'll try and take some pictures. And you can always follow us at TAGSPodcast on our Instagram page. Okay, so much to get into. We are in front of a live virtual audience. Hi, guys. Let's just start things off with one of our poll questions recently that Teddy Alexis, and if you know Teddy Alexis, he has recently chimed in and helped co-host for me while I was away. And he posted a question on here based on one of our topics. How many tops have died doing reverse cowgirl? Child, we don't know that answer, and we did realize that it was a little bit of a scary topic to kind of put out there, right? Because it's always been my dream sex position, Kodi, truth be known.
What?
Kinda. At least when I watch Rocco Steele, porn star, do it. He's notorious for doing it well, where you would lie on Rocco Steele's big honking dick. Or Tim Tales. Who's the guy that runs Tim himself?
Tim Kruger? Yeah.
Tim Kruger does it with every single guy he has sex with, where reverse cowgirl. The only difference is instead of having the bottoms feet on the bed while it's reverse cowgirl, he has them on his like thunder thighs that are gorgeous and sexy. So
wow.
Yeah, just
nice. You've been taking notes.
I've been taking a lot of notes and wishing for the best, but I don't know. It did scare a lot of people. Sorry, guys. We're just reporting the facts here. Just like we have to report on a story, switching gears here, of a gay couple recently in New York City, Kodi's and mine hometown, that a gay couple was beaten by an anti-gay mob. This is what they're calling it in Times Square. And while the crowd seemingly stood by and watched, all you have to do is look this story up, but I'll post it on tagspodcast.com. You can reference episode 548. The boyfriends that we're referring to in the report were brutally beaten in the middle of Times Square while a crowd of onlookers stood by and apparently did nothing. One of the men had to have a metal plate put in his jaw. Thanks to, this is just crazy, Kodi. And I actually watched the news story on this, and a reporter from Fox was interviewing them and essentially was asking the question, what is going on with that? And it was just devastating because they were totally shaken up, and it was just awful. And what were your thoughts when you first heard about this?
Well, when I saw it, it's just insane to me. And it makes me worried for my own safety. Me and my boyfriend walking the streets of New York City. Like you said, that's where we live. And it's all too familiar because I was just walking through Times Square the other day. Don't ask me why.
Right.
Because as regulars here, because we live here, we don't normally go to Times Square, but I was walking through Times Square, and it seemed like it was a vibe that was, I think dangerous is too far, but it was just very charged, and it was very, I didn't know. Can
you keep with this topic? Like I said, I have to answer this one door, but keep going with your answer to that. Okay.
So it was just charged, and I felt like I had to walk faster. I picked up my pace because it seemed like a space where anything could really happen. And the toxic / fragile masculinity crew, they're getting more and more emboldened with this anti-LGBTQ plus wave that has been sweeping the nation. Joe, personally, he got in our very own neighborhood, he got called the F word while walking down the street.
Are you kidding? Recently?
I'm not kidding. Maybe last week it happened. I was at work downtown, not in Times Square. I work at a bar also, and we were closing up, and so we had to refuse these people from coming in, and I blew them a kiss goodbye, and the guy got really upset and really angry. And he said, "Don't blow me a kiss." And I said, "You know what? Calm down. It's not anything. I don't want to kiss you, really." So
what is the matter with people? It's
the matter with people?
I mean, it's one thing you're doing that gesture. This couple seemingly walking in one of the most open cities. We were just talking about recent episodes about the gayest city in America, New York coming in at number 3 or 4 on where you feel comfortable with. You know, when you look at the numbers from the new NYPD Blue, they often say that it's few and far between. But I'm sorry, some guy having a metal plate put in his jaw. Yeah. A recent story in Hell's Kitchen on 10th Avenue by many of the gay bars there. Also, another hate crime happened where he had to go to the hospital too. It was a group of guys that decided to kick the living shit out of this guy. And it's disgusting. I don't know that we know the answers to we do know where the answers are probably coming from, because I have a theory that it's not New Yorkers that are doing this to themselves. It's actually people, our doors are open. People come into New York all the time. It's people coming in from out of state, I think. And we have such an open door policy that I think this is where it's coming from. Alongside what's going on, the whole wave of the right and conservative efforts. I think that's the other reason why we're seeing a lot of this. I don't really know the answers, because are we going to live, not showing affection, what's your thoughts if you had to even speculate on how to combat what we're seeing?
Well, the first thing that I have to say about this is be safe as possible, but do not let anyone affect you living your life proudly, living out loud, showing affection. I kissed my boyfriend in a very straight gym, and I think I'm totally fine. I would dare somebody to come up and try me, because I'm not the one.
Right.
But I do think that it's a balance of being as safe as possible while living your life out loud and proud. Because if you start to go back into the closet, then they win, and we cannot let them win at the end of the day.
What do you feel about the whole thought that there was other New Yorkers? Okay, granted, it was Times Square, so maybe not New Yorkers, but a bunch of people, because us as New Yorkers, we avoid Times Square like the plague. Unless the theater, or you're running off to your former job there.
Yeah, that's what I was
hanging
doing
out there. Yeah. So just stand there and not get involved. That's we need to get involved, is what I think. When you see something, not only say something, but come on,
Don't let injustice lie. Just like you were saying. Continue up. What were you saying?
I mean, I know it's scary too, because you don't want to get entangled in something like that, but pull in somebody. I mean, it's just strange to me. There's so many cameras in Times Square. There's so many police right there. There's an NYPD station right there in Times Square too. Where was somebody screaming and trying to get help for this this couple? It's just beyond me.
Yeah, you can't let this happen. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
And call the police if you have to. I'm not a big advocate for calling the police, but in this instance, we have to do the most we can to protect one another.
Exactly. Okay. Well, moving on, there is a story that caught my attention entitled "Why Homeless LGBTQ plus Youth in One City Engage in," get this, survival sex. So the city we're talking about is Connecticut. And we're talking about homeless LGBTQ plus youth that often trade sex in exchange for food and shelter. But there's a lot of local activists that say a dedicated shelter would help counter the crisis. Well, in doing some deeper research, according to this Donald Paget, who wrote this story on it, that oftentimes some of these, they're offering sex because they're going to some of these locations that are supposed to be helping them out. There's also other things going on. Let me just read you a little bit. The practice is known as survival sex and is common among youth experiencing homelessness, and LGBTQ plus young folks are particularly at risk. There's a study on the subject estimated that approximately 28% of these youth living on the streets engaged in survival sex, as did 10% of youth housed in shelters. And a study of homeless youth in New York City found that approximately 48% of LGBTQ plus and other young people who engage in same-sex sexual relations also practice survival sex. The other interesting thing about this story, Kodi, that we were reading and talking about in our meeting was that oftentimes it's not predators that are doing this, it's other youth that are telling them, hey, listen, to survive, you may need to do this. So consider, peers, young peers telling other peers to get by, you might need to do survival sex.
Wow. Yeah. It's just so sad. When I think it's really just a situation that's so sad when anyone, regardless of their race, their creed, their color, their sexual orientation, when they feel like they have to go to sex work. I think sex work is completely legitimate. It can be a beautiful way to make money. It can be so affirming for you and your sexuality. But when you take the autonomy, the bodily autonomy out of it and the consent out of it, then that is when it is such a shame. And I do not. It really, bodily autonomy and consent are paramount in anything, but especially sex work. I feel like we need to do what we can to protect our LGBTQ plus children because they are our future, like Whitney Houston said.
Yes.
And this story just goes to show how much we have to work and what we have to do more in order to help them, because we can say that we have come such a long way, and we have, but kids are still being kicked out of their homes for being LGBTQ plus, their sexual orientation, and we have to do what we can to protect them.
Yeah, and if we even just parallel the last story of how there's more and more crimes happening towards our community, even in places like cities you wouldn't imagine, like New York City, then you have to factor in, okay, not only am I an LGBTQ plus youth and I don't have money, I was kicked out because my family didn't want me there, what are you going to do? There are some centers around the country, that I'm thinking of Los Angeles in particular, which is the largest LGBTQ center. Shout out to them out in LA, my friends on the board there. They're amazing. They really do take in the youth out in LA and what's going out around there. But, not every city is well equipped for this. And so I think, it is a survival of the fittest sometimes. We don't want our youth to have to resort to that because, like you said, you brought up such a good point. We support the sex positive community and those that have jobs within that realm, but not when you're forced to do it.
Yes.
Survival sex is what they're calling it.
Yeah, it's just something that's it's the opposite of what you want sex work to be. So
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Let's move on. We want to hear what you think. Feel free to weigh in. We are in front of a live virtual audience, and we thank you for tuning in. All right. It's time to change gears about our zodiac signs. And I do love talking about my sign. I'm a Capricorn. Yes, proud of it. Thank you. Kodi's a very proud Cancer. And,
I definitely am.
If you ever wonder why, or many people have said our chemistry is really good, it's because Capricorns and Cancers really do have this affinity and get along really well. We're like a really great blend, like a fine wine, I would say.
It's because we're cardinal signs, and I've done a little bit of research because my sister is a Capricorn, like you. I mentioned it before.
And my sister's a Cancer.
I know, right? But we're like opposites, but we get along really well. It's just great. That's why I feel like we have such a great chemistry, because we're opposites, but we blend really well.
Right. Well, staying on topic with that, there's a recent article that asked the question, how gay or straight is your zodiac sign? And we thought it would be fun as we read you some of our signs' attributes and what they consider to be gay or straight. But you, virtual audience, put in your sign there, and we'll read some of them in this next segment, which we will think a lot of fun, and tell you whether many people think you're gay or straight just based on your sign. So when it comes to our communication styles and luck at work, some of us turn to the stars for guidance. So we thought we'd look at the signs. So keep in mind that this is fun, and not all of it is, take it with a grain of salt. But, but let's just start with your sign, Cancer.
Oh, okay.
Which, according to this, is the most emotional gay you'll ever meet. Cancers are from June 21st through July 22nd. They wrote, do they cry when they see small animals or get weepy about rom-coms? That's the classic romantic disposition of Cancer. This sign is gay as heck and clingy to the boot. Your Cancer love interest is probably sending you soup if you're sick, or writing long letters about how much they love you. Like other water signs, they're very emotional. However, Cancers are reluctant to trust people and hide behind a tough exterior. Wait and court them at a slow and steady pace to win them over. I think that was a very simplistic viewpoint, Kodi, of Cancers, but I do think that they are, I'm thinking of the Cancers that I know, maybe a little bit skeptical to jump into things, because they are a very, I think, beautiful emotional sign, not in a way that is weepy and crying at the drop of a hat, but in a really good, emotional, intelligent sort of way.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this? And does it speak to you as a Cancer?
I definitely cry at the drop of a hat. Puppies and children and rom-coms, and oh my God, that Sarah McLachlan video killed me.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and I am a motherly type of force. Yep. I feel like I want to nurture you. Like that thing about the soup, that is me all day. I want to take care. When you had your foot, when you had your foot, I was like, what do you need? I got you.
Yeah.
What do you need from me? I'll do whatever you need me to do. I'll take care of you. So
I feel
it.
True. Yes, absolutely. Teddy, watching us live, is a Pisces, which is also a water sign, and his mother is a Scorpio. So all water households, so emotional. Then you layer in the Latino aspect of it too, Teddy, and Latinos are very emotional in a good way, I think. Let's read some more. Xavier, watching us, is a Virgo. So let's see what they say about Virgo. Do you see that sign there? And
Virgo, perfectionist likely to be straight. Oh, wow.
Oh.
This is another earth sign that's more likely to be straight. Virgos are sharp, critical thinkers and very organized. They're very logical and analytical, and will look at your day-to-day compatibility to decide if you're worth pursuing seriously. Their quick wit and organizational skills make them a great best friend or romantic partner. You will win a Virgo or person over by inviting them to watch an artsy movie or talking to them about the last book you've read. They'll appreciate your efforts to join them in their intellectual pursuits.
Two things to say about this. Virgo, I have another BFF. You know her as well. She's one of my best friends, like I just said. She's a Virgo. We get along so famously. I'm an earth sign. She's an earth sign. And this sounds very true to the T.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes people straight. I had a guy. You know what's really interesting is, no, he was a Scorpio, not a Virgo. Different sign. But I I don't know. Does that hold true to you, Xavier, that we just read out yours? Let us know what you think. Okay, we have to
let's do yours first.
Okay, yeah, let's do mine. Why not? Capricorn. So, I'm more likely to be straight.
I know, I read it, and that's why I was like, we gotta do Steve's.
What is it about earth signs that make them less likely to be queer? Don't quote us on this, but all the Capricorns we run into seem to be straight people in our groups. Okay, I'm not a Swiftie, so maybe that's part of it. And I don't like every musical, although my sister and I listed like 15 musicals that we've seen that we're like obsessed with. So I don't know about all that. Still, queer or not, a Capricorn is very level-headed and responsible. Unless you get me with too many margaritas, then all bets are off.
But before those margaritas, it's very true. I feel
it's very true. You throw I'm a size queen, so if I'm in the neighborhood of that, all bets are off on that as well. They tend to be the mom friend who scolds you for not getting enough vitamin C. That's me. I was just I tell everyone, like, put your sunscreen on, take this. I'm always telling everyone about, like, take care of yours, protect your skin, health stuff, and make sure you get home safely. We do that to each other.
Oh, yeah.
You may not hook up with them, but they are great friends for life. You're not going to hook up with me?
No, so I read that, and I read that part, and I was like, yeah, that's true for me, but how many other people is that true about? I don't know if that part.
Thank you. You said it's very simplistic. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. There's that. Xavier watching us live says, who's the Virgo, if you remember, says, yes, all true except the straight part. Okay. Kodi, before we move on, we have to talk about your, I'm going to say husband, but let's not go there.
Oh, my gosh.
Your boyfriend.
Yeah.
And what sign is he? I know he has a birthday coming up because we're going to celebrate it soon.
Yes, we are. Shh, it's a secret, y'all. Okay. He's a Taurus. And that's April 20th to May 30th, but he's April 30th. So I'll read this one. Sorry.
That's a clearing of the throat there.
I got a little verklempt.
Uh-huh.
See, it says seems super straight to us. And again, just like you, that is a miss right there.
Yeah, right.
It says, sorry, Tori. If you asked us what is the gayest zodiac sign, you would be the least likely suspect. Perhaps it's because this sign is so steadfast and grounded. He is. Okay. This dependability makes them feel about as gay as a bowl of porridge. But he's got plenty of other gay things going on.
Okay. Yeah, like crop tops.
But if you're lucky enough to be dating a gay Taurus, prepare to be wined, dined, and treated luxuriously. Tauruses love indulging in the good things in life, so you'll be pampered well and often. And I am.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You know, you said you would answer this. We were talking about this in the meeting, and I asked you that question. You said, I'll find out on the show live. And so does he wine and dine you, Kodi? I'm putting you on the spot.
He wines and dines me, but I gotta put the nose to the grindstone in order for him to buy me gifts and stuff.
Like, oh, really?
Okay. I'm like, I want a gift. I really want a necklace or some earrings or something. So he's probably listening. And
your birthday's not coming up. So
yeah, it's soon. His is first, so we'll get that one out of the way. And literally get it out of the way. No, I'm just joking.
Love it. Thanks for weighing in on that. Okay. We haven't gotten to our poll questions yet, have we, Kodi? No, not yet.
Not just
yet. Okay. We've got some poll questions coming your way. Stay tuned for them. But they're based on some of the topics we're talking about. I think it's this next topic, if I'm not mistaken. So apparently there was a whole discussion. I believe it was on Reddit. Don't quote me on that. But gay guys were unpacking their secret fetish for, get this, backwards baseball caps. When I first heard this, I was like, what is this, the 90s?
I know, right?
And the thing is, I wear a lot. For the longest time, I wear baseball caps, like from the moment I get up, unless I'm going out at night. Sometimes if it's a gay bar, I would wear one too. Not backwards, though, unless it was like the 90s for me. I just think no. And But apparently in a Reddit thread this month, gay guys were lusting over cap-wearing dudes after one user asked if he needed to, quote, unpack his baseball cap fixation. So guys in porn wearing baseball caps is a huge turn on for me, he explained. I've always loved seeing porn actors wearing baseball caps. And these days with OnlyFans, there are certain guys like Holden Hunt, Gunnar Joseph, Greg Dixon, just to name a couple, who wear caps mostly and have become favorites. Is this just subconscious shots for straight guys, back to straight guys, and a locker room fetish? I mean, are you a big baseball cap wearing it? Well, you're wearing one right now.
I know, right? Oh, okay. You want me to turn it around?
Yes.
I shaved my head, so
you did.
That's why.
This is cute.
Is it cute? How does it look?
Oh, right, and you can even do it kind of like tilted angular.
I hate this. I don't think it looks cute at all.
Tilt it like a little bit. Let's just style you for a second. Tilt it like angular so that we can see a little bit of the bill to one side and pull it up, girl.
No, this is not okay. I don't like it.
Well, maybe it's because you have a headset on.
No, I like it much better this way.
I do too.
It looked crazy the other way. No.
Is this like a real thing that people have fetishes for backside? I mean, I don't know.
Yes. I mean,
I guess.
My first thought was, what in the old school hip hop, just like you. Like,
right.
I don't understand. It makes me think of TLC, Hat to the Back. You remember that song? Hat to the back. And I keep my pants down real low. That's okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my first thought. And I just think it's either because of the masculinity complex that probably comes along with a baseball cap. It's, for me personally, it is more disheveled. Like, I don't give a fuck about anybody or what they think about me, and it just is a more relaxed attitude. That's what I find attractive about a baseball cap. But it could also be, who knows, it could be take people back to high school. It could be so many things. So I'm
gonna take your, go ahead, finish up.
I was just gonna say that the baseball cap is basically a riddle wrapped in an enigma, and and its power is undeniable. So it's many things to many people, basically. What were you going to say?
That I do think it's a lot of fun. I do think, based on our last story, that somebody had a whole thing on zodiac signs and what are the straightest, gayest signs out there, that we're still in a phase of our LGBTQ plus world where we're obsessed with many of our former selves that were over that side of the line, the straight side. So we're always making comparisons to it. Many of us still have fetishes towards that side of it, like you suggested earlier. The only plus side that I think that's kind of sexy for like OnlyFans, like this person was quoting, is that some people look really good naked, but with one article of clothing on. And I do think, to his point, not the sock. Although naked sometimes in a sexy pair of socks or a baseball cap, but I do think a backward baseball cap naked works in a sexy way for some bizarre reason, versus like if you're going to be naked and you're going to have a cap on and you're going to go over, like you're the top and you're hovering over your insatiable bottom. Okay, me. And you're going in to kiss them, and you're going to hit them with the bill. So it's all like, you know how you do shoulders in the gym sometimes, and you're trying to do overheads and the bill gets in the way and you're like, damn it, why did I wear the hat today? You turn it around and you wear it backwards. The same with sex too. It works with sex. I think.
We're so butch. I love this.
Do you love our analyzation on this? Like, we're taking this really seriously. What are people saying? Because we are live on episode 548.
Teddy says that baseball caps in Puerto Rico can signal DL gay guys if it's worn to the side. So I got to start wearing my...
You got some tea.
I know, right? I got to start wearing my baseball cap to the side.
I love Shelby watching us live goes, really? Like, we had the same, like, we clutched the invisible pearls there for a second. He said, did you read the other part? Yep, but now rappers use it.
But yeah, then Teddy goes on to say that now rappers use it that way, so now it's more muddy because, of course, the gays started something, and now everybody else has taken it from us.
Sure. Yeah. It's funny. I mean, I think there's another story we're going to talk about. I'm not sure, maybe not, but I do think there are so many of us in the LGBTQ plus love a costume moment. I was talking to this whole concept with my sister the other day on the difference between costume and fashion. And I've definitely gotten into a costume moment throughout the years. People pull up pictures left and right. When I do when I was a former go-go dancer, got into that whole moment. Fetish for sure. I've gotten into that. I'm more into fashion, I would say, than costume. And sometimes I think there's a difference. And I think the baseball cap thing is can be costume-ish, working that mode. That's just my thought.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yes, really. Okay.
Fabulous. Well, our poll is live now.
Oh, thank you.
And
read it. I'm pouring some more wine.
People are saying the question is wearing a backwards baseball cap your fetish? And the answers are, oh yes, it reminds me of getting sweaty in the locker room, or hell no, it reminds me of high school gym class. And people have unanimously voted that yes, it's their fetish. So that is so great, and I love that for everybody.
We can keep voting though, guys.
Yeah, so keep going.
We'll keep it live. Also, this link stays live. We'll keep it live on TAGSPodcast.com. Just go to Tags Live. And when you go to the page, which this episode was on April 19th, just click on the little bars on the right, correct, Kodi? And that's how they get to the poll, because we'll keep this conversation going. All right. Hey guys, I was just at the adult bookstore down the street getting my monthly supply of lube and saw those erection pills they sell. You know, the ones that usually are at the front of the store. Maybe they're at the counter before you check out. Have you ever wondered what the heck is in those things, and are they even safe? And we all know there's a plethora of products out there to keep you hard and ready, but are they safe? Many of them raise your heart rate and your blood pressure, and when drinking is involved, when we go out, we may not be consuming the best pills to do the job of keeping us hard and ready for a night of fun. Joy Mode is here to save the day like a superhero we all needed. Whether you think you need help or not in the bedroom, Joy Mode is like a pre-workout, but for sex. Joy Mode makes natural and science-backed sexual wellness products for men. The Sexual Performance Booster is designed to support erection quality and firmness and sex drive. It contains clinically supported doses of arginine nitrate, L-citrulline, Panax ginseng, and vitamin C. It was created with best-in-class scientists and biochemistry PhDs. After taking the Sexual Performance Booster, blood levels of arginine nitrate will increase, which will directly promote nitric oxide production, penile tissue relaxation, and increased drive. Meanwhile, the antioxidant action of vitamin C will protect nitric oxide from oxidative degradation, which enhances the blood flow promoting activity of nitric oxide. Collectively, these effects enhance sex drive and blood flow to the penis, resulting in better performance. Joy Mode was created because the products on the market are terrible, and they knew they could do better. Prescriptions come with all sorts of side effects, and the over-the-counter gas station pills are sketchy and fraudulent. But a lot of guys take both because they don't have a better option. Simply tear open the sachet and mix with 6 to 8 ounces of water, just like your favorite electrolyte packet. For best use, consume anywhere from 45 minutes to 4 hours prior to sexual activity. You'll notice better blood flow, better erection quality and firmness, and increased sexual energy and drive. So you want to spice things up in the bedroom and boost your sexual performance and do it naturally without prescription drugs? We have a special offer for the Tags audience. Go to usejoymode.com/tags or enter TAGS, TAGS at checkout for 20% off your first order. That's usejoymode.com/tags for 20% off your first order. Thanks, Joy Mode. Time to move on. And we are moving on to my creepy roommate. doing things in my bed.
Oh,
another somebody wrote in to a popular site, and they wrote saying, I think my roommate is using my sex supplies and possibly doing sexual things in my bed when I'm not home. Like most people, I keep all my stuff in the bedside table. A few months back, I noticed I was going through a lot of lube faster than usual. It seemed weird, but I didn't think anything of it immediately. Then one day last month, I noticed one of my toys in the drawer had clearly been moved. Another time, I couldn't find my cock ring, only to have it reappear a few days later. While I can't say 100%, I'm pretty sure he's up to something. I don't know how to bring it up, or even if I should. I thought about getting a lockbox. So funny, because we're talking about lockboxes here in Puerto Vallarta at this condo. But then he's going to know I know what he's doing, and it could get more awkward.
Oh,
the whole situation is just weird. Oh no, I know what you're. Not to mention, it's costing me money. Lube isn't cheap after all. You know, it's so funny because I've had different roommates, and I was telling you in our meeting that when I lived in LA, I had, oh my God, like 10 different places that starving actor, moved and moved and moved and moved. At one point, I wasn't even in a room. I was in a dining room because somebody said I could, starving actor. And they said, I mean,
I'm about to share my story too, so I'm not judging.
I got in the jerk off session when she was asleep. Oh yeah, it was a she, and I was strategic about it. But yeah, I also had another roommate when I was a personal trainer in LA, and he had this smaller house, but it was in the Hollywood Hills, and he was sexy as F. Let me tell you. And he was always flirting with me, this and that. And I would hear him and his boyfriend at the time having sex, and not one, but two boyfriends having sex upstairs in the bedroom. And I would get kind of turned on. There was a couple times that I did go onto his bed and like jerk off just because I know.
Yes.
And like rub up against the bed to kind of take in the aroma of them. And I was so turned on by what I was hearing. So I was a little sneaky devil back in the day like that. But what are your thoughts on this? Have you had any strange stories? But first, we should talk about, should this guy confront his roommate?
Oh, 100%. There definitely needs to be some boundaries in this household, because if a roommate did that to me, then it would be World War III.
What if they ate your food, Kodi? Because I already know food is very important to Mr. Kodi.
It is very important to me, but luckily that hasn't really been an issue. I have had people.
And you're such a giver.
I am. And if they asked and they can have it, I would be very disappointed inside, but I would give it to them. But if they ate it without asking, then we would have a problem, because yeah, that's just something that you don't do. You have to respect other people's boundaries and their things. And in this instance, this roommate is not respecting their roommate's things.
Do you know how expensive lube is? I went and bought some silicone lube the other day down the street from where I live. And for a bottle that was maybe 4 ounces,
$30
silicone, $30, immediate. And I'm like, what? And that, on a good night, that could be 3/4 of the way gone. I mean, maybe I'm overusing it.
But good for you, because the more lube, the better.
But maybe I listened to Dr. Goldstein a little too much, and I need to use a little bit of less of it. But child, do not. Lube is expensive today. We are practically in a recession. Do not take someone's lube. The cock ring, fine, but just ask to borrow it.
Fine. No, not fine. I don't want anything the closest thing that I have done,
not fine.
The closest thing that I have done in this regard is when I had a fun night with my fleshlight, right? And I went to clean it in the bathroom, and I left it in the tub. My roommate was mortified. He's straight, number one. He's like, "What is this thing? I don't know what you do with this." And I was like, "Well," I had to explain it to him.
And that is so nothing. My former trainer that lived down the hall from me was straight and his roommate was gay, and the roommate and I would hang out, but the roommate was totally into dildos, but it was his apartment. Like, he had owned the apartment and then brought in my friend that was the straight trainer. But the bathroom that they shared was lined with dildos. His dildo closet. Actually, not his, but sometimes the roommate had to, or my friend had to use that one, and he was unapologetic about it. If you want to use that tub, you're going to be surrounded by a dildo shrine. And it is what it is. But one simple fleshlight that he could use too, by the way.
He could. He wasn't really upset. I wouldn't say he was upset. I would say that he was very adamant about boundaries, which I think is very, that's what I propose that this man does. Set the boundaries. He was like, this is not okay with me. I understand that it happened this one time, but please don't let it ever happen again, because I don't want to see that from you. So, and I respected that. I never let it happen again.
Yeah,
and I moved out.
Roommates are a whole thing here. Yeah, I mean, you didn't even want to let Joe use your fleshlight. So
no,
he's your boyfriend.
Oh. Yeah, no. I will buy him his own. But
Maybe
do
that's
know
his birthday gift.
I already got him a couple things.
Okay,
I'll show you what they are offline. But I do know of friends that have shared, that hose that goes into the shower head. That two best friends would use that. I was like, ooh, no.
Not the douche, Teddy
Not
says.
the douche.
I know. I've had mine. I'm about to get rid of mine altogether. Because I just think I don't want people using that. So Shelby says, watching us live, of course.
Come over and use it.
You can't. Moving on. I've heard enough on this topic, and I need to move on. Silence. Let's move on to we missed it, but apparently April 18th was National Anal Sex Day. Speaking of douching, a lot of those hoses were used apparently yesterday. April 18th, which we're live right now on the 19th, marks National Anal Sex Day. And it all started with a joke from a comedian by the name of Jim Jeffries. I don't know, Cody, do you know Jim Jeffries? And I'm assuming he's LGBTQ plus, but I'm not sure. But
let's look him up.
Look him up while I read the story. Jim Jeffries, comedian, was caught on and made the mark, and it was created in response to St. Valentine's Day, where men, in this instance, are more commonly responsible for sending a lot of money and taking care of things. Jeffries thought men deserved a, quote, whole day where they get to sit back and enjoy. Since anal pleasure can be enjoyed by men, women, trans alike, the idea eventually caught on and the day to celebrate was assigned. While we all know, and then the article goes on to talk, and they even quote Dr. Goldstein, which is really great. Like, if you're going to partake in this, which of course I do, get all the facts, and we're not going to bore you with all that, because we've talked and we will continue to talk about ways to be safe with anal sex. But the whole idea of a holiday, a day, anal sex day, were you surprised by this? I mean, there's a day for everything. There's an Oreo cookie day, for crying out loud.
I know.
There's a day for, why wouldn't there be an anal sex day?
Why? Exactly. We need this. I celebrated yesterday.
Did you celebrate it last night?
I did, but unbeknownst to me, that it was anal sex day. But we got it in, so I'm doing my due diligence. And we need to write to the president to make this an actual. We need to put it on the calendar. We need this day, and then we need to expand it to every day. So I'm here for it. This man is not gay, but he had a wonderful idea. He's Australian, which probably prompted him to be more in the anal sex lane. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but no, he's wonderful, and I'm so happy that he thought of this.
You know what's really cool about that he's not LGBTQ plus or gay, is that the fact that he is straight, because there's plenty of straight men that enjoy pegging. That's why don't knock it. I mean, the anal region is very pleasurable. Xavier, watching us live, says, don't celebrate Oreo and anal sex day together, though.
You know what? That sounds fun to me.
That's a mess waiting to happen, and I don't
Put down the
want
rubber sheets and have at it, baby.
Oh
Okay.
wow!
Get
Okay,
out the
you
whipped
went
cream
there.
too.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Teddy
Okay.
goes double stuffed in more than one way. I love it.
Double stuff. I used to love double stuff, and I still do, just not with Oreos. But yes, thank you very much on that. Hey, again, we are live. It's episode 548. We've got to give our take and advice on these next Reddit threads, which we love to do. By the way, you can always ask us for advice on sex or relationships. Simply DM us at TAGSPodcast on Instagram, or simply go to our website, TAGSPodcast.com, where you can get things like show notes. You can email us via that. You can get the latest, greatest on all things Tags Podcast. Okay, here's the first one. This is a doozy, a fun one. Do you, Kodi, or anybody out there who's listening, do you let your top fuck you after you've already come? Why or why not?
All right. So this is
the first one that I read before you weigh in on this. This is yes, because I am a horny slut.
Yes. Oh my god.
On the cruise, I'm just gonna put it out there. On the Vakaya cruise line that I was on this past February, there were plenty of times that I had people give me their gift inside them, and I moved on to the next taker.
Wait, I thought it was after the bottom comes.
Oh,
yeah.
You're right. But yes, okay, let me answer that question then. I won't edit that out.
I love it.
You just gave a little too much info away there.
No, it's fine. I want to know.
Because
inquiring minds want to know.
We've talked a lot about on this show that whether you get hard or not as the bottom, and whether that bothers the top or not, whether the bottom's hard or not, it's still pleasurable to have anal intercourse when someone's already come. And yeah, I mean, check in with your bottom and see if there's still, oftentimes it can, I think absolutely. What's your thoughts?
Well, generally speaking, I don't continue because from what I know of bottoming and what my bottoms... Why are you laughing?
From what I know.
I mean, I'm bottom before. I'm not the biggest bottom in the world, and I'm not taking...
He went to class one day, Teddy said. From what research I've done on bottoming.
I did some research. I've bottomed before. It's not really pleasurable after you come. So I always stop. But if somebody asks me to continue, I will definitely continue. And I have the strength and the fortitude to keep going even after I come as a top. So
yeah, I guess you're right on that. I'm sure for a lot of people. So check in with your bottom, right?
Yes.
And
yes,
or check in with yourself, whether you want that to continue on or not. But it goes back to a previous discussion we've had before on whether someone's hard or not, and whether that bothers you when the bottom is hard or not. And the answer being that a lot of people don't come right away because they want to continue the experience, and it is pleasurable as a bottom to continue to go on. You often don't then, according to this, want your bottom to come, Kodi, right? I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this is... He said that I'm a never-ending mimosa. I'm a good time.
New meaning to bottomless mimosas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually not wearing any pants right now. But anyway.
Hey, prove it.
No.
Prove your love.
No, I'm not.
That.
I'm not quite sure. I have no idea. But also, this is our next poll question. So this poll is live as well. So I have a poll here that says, do you continue getting fucked or fucking after the bottom has come? Yes, keep going, daddy, or no, when I'm done, we're done.
Oh, wow. It's a funny thing to consider, but ultimately, hopefully people are checking in with each other. Right?
Yes.
And it should be a non-issue, and if somebody's continuing and you're done, then push them off,
Steve, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm
Yes.
good. I can take care of you in a different way. I can take care of you in a different way, but maybe not in that way.
Yeah.
You know what? The recent experience I did have, I was kind of done, but I took care of them. I was willing to continue the experience. Because when you have sex with me, and it's an experience.
Oh, yes.
Tickets are sold. It's a whole thing.
There's a meet and greet.
There's a meet and greet. I go on at 10, no later. Always by 11. And
you're a little late. That's okay, though.
I'm a little late. I'll have Madonna, but you know. No regrets.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let us know what you think. Take our poll like Kodi just read, and we have to move on because we got to get in at least one more, right, Kodi?
Yes,
which one do you want to go with? The body?
I like the body. I like the body.
We talk a lot about body image, body positivity, representation, and this just fit into the conversation that we continue to have. And they wrote in a recent Reddit thread, ever wish you could have another guy's body? I'm a 30-year-old guy from Malaysia, and sometimes I really just wish I could step out of my body and into someone else's. Like, I'd happily trade skins with a 40-something-year-old white man. That's a lot. Well, and let me just read you one thing before we weigh in on this. Somebody, of course, wrote, grass is always greener, and I would 100% agree. But House Craven Raw wrote, hey, it's me with a 40-year-old body. Can we swap knees for the weekend? Maybe a lower back exchange?
I love that answer. That's great.
That's amazing. And, you know, and making light of it a little bit in a good way, I think the person was very serious about that too. Yeah. And it just, to me, come down to maybe too much time scrolling through social media and comparing yourself to other bodies. And, you know, I've said on the show many times before that I don't spend a lot of time scrolling through social media. And part of it is I've just never gotten into that. But when I do, I could see where it could lead to, oh my gosh, look at this person that I'm following in their body, and look at them in this portion of the world. And looking, you know, if you looked at one of my Instagram feeds the other day, I was in the pool, but I strategically, I'm going to tell you guys, strategically shot this coming out of the pool with my sister filming it from behind. And I said, get my ass. You all saw it earlier today, the ones watching us live, get the Charlie bathing suit. And we did about 3 takes of it. And I came out and literally I dried myself off, and we were back at Costco buying furniture, like supplies. And then we were dealing with the internet. So does it always seem like one way, but it's, you know, grass is always greener? Yeah, but that's not always what's really going on in someone's life.
Yeah, I hear that and I see that. And I acknowledge that, and you're beautiful, darling.
Thank you,
darling. You're very welcome. What alarms me about this poster is that he wishes that it sounds to me, and the language is saying to me, I might be wrong, I'm open to being wrong, that he would want to also change his skin color and his complexion, which is that rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I think that as far as your skin color, you have to be proud of who you are and where you come from and your ethnicity and things of that nature. So taking that out of it, yes, I have seen bodies on Instagram that I really think are beautiful, and I use them as motivation. And I will go to the gym with that body type in mind and say, oh my God, this is what I'm going to the gym for. And I took some pictures recently and I look damn good. And you might see one tomorrow on my Instagram feed, because
at Mr. Maurice, everybody.
Right, with my new bald head, because Professor Xavier could never. Okay.
I love that, Kodi. And you brought up some really good points. And, you know, the first point that you made about wishing they were in a white body, you know, that's a separate conversation. One that we actually had last week, actually episode 547, we were giving a listener by the name of Bryce some advice.
Yes.
And a lot of it had to do with being Black and being fetishized for being Black. And we'll let you listen to that, but it's really kind of what we're talking about not wanting to be, comparing yourself to white and particularly in LGBTQ plus and being fetishized. And so that's a different conversation, but I do appreciate you. You do need to kind of, like I was saying, X yourself out of social media at times and find the beauty in yourself. I always believe you have a new change. And we've talked about it, not to put you on the spot a little bit about your new shaped head.
I know.
And I think but you have to, we go through certain changes and things that we're moving on to different things. And you have to find the new beauty in this is me now moment.
Yeah.
And, whether it's you put on a few pounds, but it's easier said than done. I know that, but you've got to find a way. And by all means, if you're in that transitional moment, use it, like you said, to look to like, this is what I could be as motivation, or take a break from social media.
Oh, yeah. And who knows, if I get enough likes on this post tomorrow with my new bald head, then maybe I will expose it and have it free and glowing in the light next week on the show. So we'll see.
I love it. Okay. And lastly, before we get to one of our favorite last segments called Thirst Trap, there's somebody that wrote into Reddit, and I was really struck by this. They said, thinking of setting up my own private glory hole. As the title states, I've been curious to try things for so long, and I want to try servicing only oral at my own place, which I would most likely book they would do it booking a hotel room, and they said they would use a sheet for the setup. Okay, well, we'll read a little bit more, and then we'll talk about how you could do this. As someone who really enjoys giving head and have always wanted to spend a day servicing, okay, some people want rosé all day, you want to give head all day. I love it. I wanted to give this a shot, but am nervous about it. I'd post this on a sort of personal site as well as maybe a hookup app. I'd get info and pics from the guys and approve of who I want to stop by. It wouldn't be like a huge actual, what's GH stand for?
I'm not quite sure.
I'd be a selective, but still anonymous. I understand my risk regarding STIs. Thank you for writing that. I say go for it for the most part, but before setting up, we had a guest, Brian Bennett, on our show who created this.
It stands for glory hole. Glory hole. I figured. I was like trying to think about.
Steve. Yeah. We had a guest during the pandemic, Brian Bennett, who created the Port of Glory. And it's literally like it says, you can set it up. He gave us one. He gave you one too, right, Kodi? I have one.
I'll call him and I'll be like, "Where?"
I have one, and it was really cool because he created these. I mean, talk about using your time wisely. You can go to portofglory.club, and I'll post this on TAGSPodcast.com. But it's really. Can you hear me, Kodi?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I highly recommend about this guy doing this. I mean, do you tell him to do it or what?
Oh yeah, I say go for it. You only live one life, so I think that setting up your own private glory hole is something that, if that's something that you're interested in, and as long as you do it safely, and I think that that's something, sucking dick is, you can still get STIs that way, but it is safer than anal sex, I feel like. But don't quote me. If you will, people always let me know if I'm wrong. So write down in the comments if that is not factual information.
Yeah, I say go for it. All right. Have I used it? Teddy asked me. I have used it. I did set it up before. I did it with a friend because it goes right in your doorway. And I did mine in the bathroom. The only problem was if I had somebody, I did it with a friend. And it sets up really quickly. If I didn't, I might be a little nervous doing it anonymously because, of course, I'd have to let somebody in. I'm in the bathroom. I'm trapped in my bathroom. That would make me a little bit nervous. So I would do it with friends early on. But, check it out. And thanks for putting that in our comment section, Kodi.
Yes, darling.
Lastly, we've got to play our favorite game, and it's produced by Thirst Trap. This week, they asked the question out of, let me just get to this. Sorry.
17.
Thank you. 17 gay porn stars who, or OnlyFans sensations, just for fans, which one took the best photo? And it's our job in typically an audio podcast to vividly describe who and why. I'll go first. Mine definitely, there was really a lot of ass play in this, asses out there. There was some very sexy ones. I'm just going to shout out to Ant-Man, who's a lot of legs spread and dicks there and holes shown. Loved all of them. The one that gets mine, though, is the quintessential, oh my gosh, I'm scrolling very slowly. I'm sorry. Give me one more second. Where is he? Gosh. Who's yours, Kodi? And then I'll get to mine.
So,
okay. Let me
go.
just finish mine.
Go.
I've met with, I have been with, I've taken that huge thick dick, and it just was a reminder of how thick it really is. And
what's his name again?
Cutler X.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, Chetty says Cutler, yeah. And I've been with him a couple times, and it was well worth it. So
I voted for him.
Okay, that was your favorite too. Nice.
He was in
Chetty
the top.
Gets it too.
He was in the top, but my favorite is Leo Grand. So initially, Hard Tom, I saw some stuff in the front, so that took me out of the fantasy for him. Like he had some a toiletry bag or some other things, and I said
we said we don't like, some people don't like that. I don't mind it, but yeah.
So I said no to him because of that. But then I looked at Leo Grand, who is my favorite, and he has some things in the background, but I got distracted by that pink hat that he has on. And I said, you know what? That's okay. Because he's got his legs are in the air. He's got his whole showing, and he's got that beautiful pink bedazzled hat on. And I just love it. And there's no ugly leather couch in it this week, so I'm happy for him. So he gets my vote this week.
I love it. Thank you for playing. Always fun. I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com. Check it out. You can always follow my co-host. He's a life coach. Follow him on Instagram at KMD Coaching, or follow him on his personal account, and maybe you'll get that shot that he was talking about with the shaved head and more at Mr. Maurice on Instagram. Follow me at Iam_Steve V, or of course the show. And this is true of all social media platforms at Tags Podcast. I'm talking Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Tags Podcast, Facebook even. So check it out. And we thank you guys for watching us live. Kodi, in the meantime, continue having hot gay
sex. Yes.
Thanks, guys. Yes. Absolutely. Very fun. And yes, thanks guys for watching.
Thank